On a cold day in November of 2003, in Garden Grove, California, Veronica Paz would lure her former boyfriend and champion high school wrestler, Diego Gonzalez, to a hilltop construction site. A move that would end up with the star wrestler shot in the face and set on fire. What preceded is a twisted love triangle filled with young love, betrayal, and the blinding power of unchecked emotions that would leave one teenager dead and two others facing life in prison. This is the story of Veronica Paz and the case of the Love Triangle murder. The story of Veronica Paz starts in the mid-1990s at Parole Middle School, where she first met Brandon Perry. The two formed an on and off again relationship that would entangle the pair for years to come. The couple's relationship would continue through into high school, where Perry would become a star athlete within the school's football program, before ultimately forfeiting his senior year of play due to failing grades. But while Perry might have been losing his future, he was holding on to Paz. Even if Paz was not as committed to their on-again, off-again relationship as she had begun seeing a student by the name of Diego Gonzalez, while still actively seeing Perry. Perry would eventually confront Diego about the relationship at a summer party, but nothing came from the meeting, as Perry was chased away by someone close to Diego, who brandished a firearm at the event. It may have been this very event that led Perry to hate Diego for not only taking his girlfriend, but also emasculating him in public. But unbeknownst to Perry, the relationship between Paz and Gonzalez seemed to be only one of passion, and fizzled out within a few short months, and only a few weeks after the confrontation between the boys. In many respects, it was a typical story of summer love, even though Diego would continue to call Paz for sex on numerous occasions. But everything would change by November, when Paz would want Gonzalez dead after she found out that he was dating another girl while still calling on her for sex. But Paz herself would note that she actually never intended to kill Gonzalez on that night in November. Paz was angry that Gonzalez was sleeping with her while seeing another girl, and only wanted to scare him a little at that empty hilltop construction site. She stated that she asked Perry to only scare Gonzalez with a gun, much in the same manner that Perry was scared off with during their last encounter. Paz would go on to lure Gonzalez to the construction site, and the pair would begin making out in the car. But in the darkness just out of sight, Perry waited with a handgun. As the pair were engaged in kissing in the vehicle, Perry would quietly walk up to the car, drag Gonzalez out at gunpoint, and shoot the teenager twice in the face. Perry would later take the stand at Paz's trial and tell the jury that Paz had convinced him to take part in the incident at the construction site with the promises of sex, indicated that he was manipulated by Paz in an attempt to get back together with her. But while the prosecution would rely heavily on Perry in his statements, some on the jury would later come out and say that he actually hurt the prosecution's case because they felt he was untrustworthy, and admitted to lying in several of his statements while under cross-examination. The jury noted that Paz clearly wanted Gonzalez roughed up and scared, but that nothing shown indicated she wanted him killed outside of the testimony of Perry. That said, Her own lawyer would later state that it was a difficult case to try, as Paz had made several statements to police that had hurt her case. Perry would take a plea deal for becoming a witness in the case against Paz, and went on to detail the entire event, noting that he had killed Gonzalez after Gonzalez took a step forward towards him. But Paz, she would stick to her story, that she only ever intended for Gonzalez to be beaten up and not murdered by her former lover. After the murder, both Paz and Perry would go on to recruit some of their friends to help destroy the evidence of the murder by setting fire to the body of Diego Gonzalez and helping to provide alibis to everyone involved. 3 of the friends involved that helped dispose of the body would plead guilty to accessory to murder, with 3 of them given short sentences in the local county jail, with 1 other being sentenced to the California Youth Authority due to their age. It is hard to piece everything together, as the only 2 people involved blame the other for what happened. Veronica Paz saying she had no idea Perry would kill Gonzalez, and with Brandon Perry saying that Paz directed him to commit the murder. The jury in the trial would eventually convict Paz of first-degree murder in 2006, but could not come to a unanimous decision on another count, as they could not say whether she had intended for Perry to commit the murder. But in a twist that would seemingly help Paz, her conviction was later overturned in 2008, when the 4th District Court of Appeals ruled that the jury in her trial was given erroneous instructions. This ruling would then send Paz back to Orange County Superior Court for a retrial. Paz would have her chance at another trial, but for some reason would abruptly change her mind and take a plea deal only days before jury selection had begun. Paz would plead guilty to the charge of first-degree murder, but the plea deal would allow for the possibility of parole. For her part, Veronica Paz will face 15 years in prison, all because she could not stand her ex-boyfriend getting involved with another woman, and also knowing that her ex would do anything to be with her again. Veronica Paz's parole was denied in October of 2017, with another hearing set for 3 years later. Then in 2019, she was once again denied parole for another 3 years. That said, Veronica Paz currently has a tentative parole suitability hearing set for October of 2020.